Welcome you all to the Science Channel. Today we are going to discuss about another physics concept, the pressure and its application. In this video, you have to learn about what is pressure, types of pressure and their applications, rules and laws related to pressure with calculations, and some simple experiment regarding those concepts. Subscribe our channel and join with us. Now let's learn pressure without making pressure. Pressure is produced by and every type of matter, solid, liquid, as well as by gases. In this moment, if you are standing on the ground, your weight makes your feet press down on the ground with a certain amount of pressure. Let's identify the way of producing pressure by each of the above matters, solid, liquid and gas, their behaviors and how it useful to ease our day-to-day activities. Here, let's engage an activity to identify the pressure due to solids. There are two similar school bags having the strap of the same breadth but different weights. The bag with more weight gives more press against the shoulder. A child wearing a light-weighted bag easily. Look at his face. He's smiling, no? But a child wearing a heavy bag uneasily. The force exerted by the weight of the school bag, reason for that. Then it is revealed that the force affects the pressure exerted on the solid object. You may have experienced this incident occasionally, no? When the strap of your school bag is narrow, it is uncomfortable to the shoulder. When it is broad, it is not that comfortable. There are two diagrams here. Two children here. A child is wearing a bag with narrow strap uncomfortably. But the other child is wearing a bag with a broad strap easily. There are two school bags here of equal weight. Then the force exerted by the both of the school bag is equal. No? The weight is equal. The shoulder strap of one of them is narrow and the other one is broad. Though the strap is narrow or broad, the force exerted by the weight of the school bag is the same. But when the strap of it is narrow, the contact area is less. And when it is broad, that the area is more. Thus it is clear that though the force is the same, the pressure against the shoulder differs with the area of contact of the strap. Then it is clear due the pressure affects the surface area on which the force is acting. Pressure is defined as the perpendicular force acting normally on an unit area. Pressure exerted by a solid object on a solid surface can be calculated according to the following formula. Pressure equals perpendicular force applied divided by surface area on which the force is acting. Units of pressure can be deduced by using the above relationship of pressure. The standard unit of measuring force is Newton and the standard unit of measuring surface area is squared meter. Force measured by Newton, area is measured by using square meter. Then the pressure equals perpendicular force divided by area. Newton divided by squared meter. The standard unit of measuring pressure is newtons per square meter. According to the above activities regarding the backpack, school bag, strap of school bag, then it is confirmed that the pressure exerted by a solid object on a solid surface depend on two factors. They are perpendicular force acting on the surface and the second one is surface area on which the force is acting. There are two factors that the pressure due to solid depends on. First one is perpendicular force acting on the surface, and the second one is surface area on which the force is acting. Hence, we obtain the above equation as pressure equals perpendicular force divided by an area. Pressure can be increased or decreased by manipulating the factors which are effect on pressure, force and area. Then pressure has only magnitude, no definite direction. Then it is known as scalar quantity. We learnt earlier the standard unit of measuring pressure is newtons per square meter according to the equation. It is also known as Pascal. In honor of the French mathematician Blaise Pascal, unit of pressure was named after him as Pascal. Then 1 newtons per square meter equals to 1 Pascal. Both are the standard unit of measuring pressure. Here there is an example from the pressure due to solid. A cubic shaped box is placed on a table. If the weight of the box is 200 Newton and the area of the bottom of the box is 0.5 square meter, find the pressure exerted on the surface of the table under the box. The cubic shaped box kept on horizontal surface as shown in the figure. Then the surface of the bottom of the box is 0.5 square meter. Then you know the value of area and also the value of force given by the box. Then you can substitute those two values to the equation we learnt earlier. Pressure equals force divided by area. The force is 200 Newton, area is 0.5 square meter. Then the answer is, or the pressure exerted by the cubic shaped box is 400 Pascal. And also you can use the other standard measuring unit of pressure as 400 newtons per square meter. Both are correct. Let's move to another example. The pressure exerted by a tower of the ground over an area of 25 square meter is 400 Pascal. What is the force exerted on the ground due to the tower? You can see here, as shown in the figure, the area exerted on the ground over an area is 25 square meter. First we have to write the equation. Pressure equals force divided by area. But the question asks here not about the pressure, about force exerted on the ground due to the tower. Then you can build up the equation as force equals to pressure into area. By substituting the values, pressure equals 400 Pascal, area 25 square meter. Then the multiplication gives the answer for force. Pressure due to solid can be used to ease our day-to-day activities. Here are few of them. When cutting something, it is easier if the knife is well sharpened. When sharpening, the knife edge becomes very thin. It can exert a high pressure on the object, so the object can be cut thinner and easier. And the next one is the bottom of the skates used by this guy is made sharp like a knife edge. Because of this, a high pressure is exerted on ice when the skier is skating. That high pressure makes the ice liquefy and form a slippery surface. That's why they wore that like of shoes. And the third one is roads can be easily damaged because of the high pressure exerted by heavily loaded trucks and container carriers. To avoid this, such vehicles are made with a large number of wheels. Then the contact area with the road is increased and the pressure is decreased. Hence, the damage to the rods are minimized. These are the few applications of pressure due to solids. Pressure is exerted not only by solid. Liquid also exert pressure. When you place a solid object on a table, a pressure is exerted on the table because of the force acting on the table due to the weight of the object spread over the total contact area between the object and the table. We learned it in earlier. Similarly, a pressure is exerted on the bottom of a container because the force acting on the bottom of the container due to the weight of the liquid spread over the bottom surface of the container. The pressure is exerted by the liquid not only on the bottom of the vessel. The vertical walls of the vessel will also experience the pressure. Okay, now let's go into learn more about pressure due to liquid. Apart from this, there are many more characteristics of pressure due to liquids. The pressure due to liquid is known as hydrostatic pressure. Here, let us investigate these characteristics of hydrostatic pressure. Let's engage in an activity to identify about the characteristic of liquid pressure or hydrostatic pressure. If you make some holes in a polythene bag filled with it water and hold it as shown in the figure, what would you observe? You will observe that water exists through all the holes. Each of these holes exists at different side of the bag. Water exists through every hole because water pressure exists at the position of every hole. From this experiment, you will observe that the water pressure acts in every direction. The pressure due to a liquid or hydrostatic pressure acts in every direction. Here, I took a plastic bottle with a height of about 25 cm and make several holes at the same level near the bottom and fill it with water. You will see water exist in the bottle as shown in the video. Here, you will notice that the horizontal distance traveled by water coming out of every hole is same. The horizontal distance traveled by water coming out of every hole at the bottom is the same. This is because the pressure at the same level of a liquid is same. The second characteristic of hydrostatic pressure is the pressure at the same level of a liquid is the same. Now let us find out how the height of the water column in a vessel affects the pressure. Make a set of approximately equally spaced holes from top to bottom of a plastic ball with a height of about 25 cm and fill it with water. Hold the bottle at some height from the ground level as shown in the video. And observe, you can see here how the streams of water leave the bottle. You will observe that the speed of the streams of water coming from the lower holes is greater than the speed of water coming from upper holes. What exists in a hole has a higher speed when the pressure near that hole is higher. Therefore, it can be concluded that the pressure in a liquid increases with the depth of the liquid. Then let's investigate how the pressure of a liquid depends on the shape of the liquid column. There are 5 transparent tubes having various shapes as shown here by A, B, C, D and E in the figure. You can see here. Fix them to a PVC tube with closed end as shown in the figure and fill the system with water. Here you will notice that the height of the liquid column of each of the tube is the same. The height of the liquid column of each of tube is same. It is clear from the above experiment that the pressure at the equal levels of a liquid is the same. Therefore, the pressure at the places where all the tubes are fixed to the PVC tube is also equal. The height of the liquid column of each of the tube is being the same. The vertical height of each of the vessels is same. We can conclude that the pressure due to a liquid column depends only on the height of the liquid column and not on the amount of liquid or the shape of the liquid column. It depends only on the vertical height of liquid column. According to our studies so far on pressure due to liquid, the liquid pressure has the following characteristics. The pressure at a certain point in a liquid depends on the height of the liquid column above that point. Then pressure increases with the height of the liquid column. Next one is the pressure at the same level of a liquid is same. Third one, at a given point in a liquid, the pressure is the same in all directions. And the other one is liquid pressure depends on the vertical height of the liquid column and it does not depend on the shape of the liquid column. Accordingly, if the height of the liquid column is given as h, we can use symbol as h for the height of the liquid column and the density of the liquid shows by using the letter rho, and the weight of the liquid column above a unit area of the bottom surface of the container is given as h into rho into g. Since the weight spread over unit area, the liquid pressure is known as pressure, no? The liquid pressure at the bottom is h rho g. Height into density into gravitational acceleration. Then the equation to find out liquid pressure is given as pressure equals height of the liquid column into density of the liquid column into gravitational acceleration. The measuring unit of standard unit of measuring height of the liquid column is meter. The density of the liquid can be measured by using kilograms per cubic meter, and the gravitational acceleration we can use the SI unit or standard international unit as meters per square second. Then the unit for liquid pressure, as you learned earlier, the pressure can be measured using the unit Pascal. Now let's solve a problem regarding liquid pressure. Here, at a certain location, the depth of a certain point in a sea is 10 meters. Find the pressure exerted at this region by the sea water. You can use the equation to find out liquid pressure as P equals H rho G. H means height of the liquid column, rho the density of the seawater, here seawater, and G gravitational acceleration of the earth. Then 10 meters into 1050 kilograms per cubic meter into 10 meters per square second. You can obtain the answer by multiplication these three values. Another calculation here, a tank with the length of 5 meter, width of the tank 3 meter and the depth 2 meters is filled with a liquid of density 800 kilograms per cubic meter. The question asks, what is the pressure at the bottom of the tank due to the liquid? And what is the force acting on the bottom of the tank due to that pressure? Let's get the answer using the above equation. Liquid pressure equals to H, rho and G. First part of the question asks about the pressure exerted by the liquid. Then you can use liquid pressure equals to height of the liquid column into density of the liquid into gravitational acceleration. You can substitute the value 2 meters height, density is 800 kilograms per cubic meter and the gravitational acceleration is 10 meters per square second. You can obtain a value for pressure due to liquid. Then the second part asks about the force exerted by that tank on the surface of bottom. Here you have to find out the area of the bottom of the surface. Then you can get the area as 5 meters into 3 meters as 15 square meter. You can use the equation as pressure equals to perpendicular force divided by area. We learnt it in previous slides as pressure exerted due to solids. Then the value for the pressure obtained in the previous part of discussion as 16,000 Pascal. Then it equals to force divided by area. Here question asks about the force. Then you can get the answer for the force by multiplying the value for the pressure into area of the bottom surface of the tank. Liquid do not get compressed by forces exerted on them. Therefore, the pressure exerted at one point in a liquid can be transmitted to another point in the liquid. A machine constructed to operate based on this principle, the principle is transmission of pressure through liquid without getting compressed, is known as hydraulic press. This figure illustrates how the hydraulic press is working. It consists of liquid volume trapped by two pistons with two different areas. Small piston represent here as A1 and the large area which having the piston represent here as A2. Using the hydraulics, even a child can lift a car or a heavy object. In a hydraulic machine, a pipe containing hydraulic fluid connects two cylinders of different size, each containing a piston. Pushing in the narrow piston makes the wide piston move out with a greater force. The narrow piston moves a much greater distance than the wide piston. Another application of transmission of pressure through liquid is hoist. A hoist used to lift vehicles in motor vehicle maintenance station and service station as shown in the figure. It's a machine constructed to operate based on the principle of pressure transmission. The hoist is constructed in such a way that the pressure generated in the oil through the small force applied on the small piston is transmitted to the large piston through the oil or through the liquid, transmitting a force equal to the weight of the vehicle placed on the large piston. This force lifts the vehicle. Have you ever seen this instrument? A hydraulic jack. You may have experienced when a wheel of a vehicle needs to be detached. A hydraulic jack is used to lift one side of the vehicle when a wheel of the vehicle needs to be detached. Out of the many types of jacks available, the type that is most frequently used is hydraulic jack. Such a jack shown here. The hydraulic jack also operates on the principle of pressure transmission. Here also a force is applied on a small piston. The pressure caused in the oil by this force is transmitted to the large piston through the oil. Then that side of the vehicle is lifted. Another instance where the principle of liquid pressure transmission is applied is brake system in vehicle. We know it as hydraulic brake system in vehicle. You can see the parts of the brake system of the vehicle here. In the brake system of a vehicle, when the driver applies force on the brake pedal, it is transmitted to the piston in the master cylinder. This force exerts pressure on the oil inside the cylinder. In yellow color, it represents the brake fluid in the brake system. This pressure is transmitted through the oil to the slave cylinder or sub-cylinders near the wheel. Then the brake pads connected to the slave cylinders or the sub-cylinder are pressed to apply a pressure on the brake disc. Since the cross-sectional area of the slave cylinder is larger than that of the master cylinder, the force applied on the brake pads by the slave cylinder is greater than the force applied by the driver on the brake pads. That's why when we applying force to the brake pedal, the wheels of the vehicle is stopped. That is the function of vehicle brake system or hydraulic brake system. According to our studies so far on pressure, we discussed about pressure exerted by solid, pressure and the pressure exerted by liquid. Here we are going to discuss about the pressure exerted by gases. Similar to solid and liquid, gases also exert pressure, as I told you earlier. There are two forms or the two ways in which a pressure can be produced by a gas. One is pressure caused by a weight of column of gas similar to the pressure caused by a column of liquid. The atmospheric pressure is produced this way. We know it as pressure exerted by atmosphere. The other way is that a gas can give rise to a pressure when a compressed gas is attempt to expand. We know it as the pressure exerted due to compressed gases. Let's identify these two ways which gives pressure by atmosphere and by compressed gas. Let's engage an activity. From this activity, you can easily see that a compressed gas causes a pressure. Here, I get a plastic tube with U-shaped. We know it as U-tube, U-shaped tube. Pour water into U-shaped tube as shown in the figure. Then the water levels in the two arms of the U-shaped tube would become equal. Here I use blue colored water. Then tie the opening of an air-filled balloon with a piece of thread, making sure that it can be easily untied. After that, I connected it to the one side of arm of the U-shaped tube as shown in the figure and tie it with another piece of thread. Now, slowly undo the knot on the balloon or knot in the balloon. After removing the knot, you will be able to see that the water level in that arm with balloon goes down and the water level in other side of the U-shaped tube goes up. Since the pressure at all points on the same level of the liquid is the same, the liquid levels that are equal before connecting a balloon show that the pressure above the water levels of the two arms are equal. By filling a balloon with air, we try to compress a large amount of air inside a limited volume. That is, we compress the air. When we connect the balloon filled with compressed air to that arm of the U-shaped tube, the water levels are no longer the same. The higher water level in the other arm than the water level in the arm connected with the balloon, that the pressure in that arm higher than the pressure in the arm with connected to balloon. The reason for the higher pressure in that arm is additional pressure exerted on the liquid by the compressed air in the balloon. That additional pressure transmitted through the liquid, then the liquid at the other side or the other arm goes up. Let's identify about the other way of pressure due to gases. We know it as atmospheric pressure. Earth's atmosphere extends to hundreds of kilometers above the surface of the Earth. It means Earth is covered by the layers of air. Similar to the pressure produced at any point inside the container filled with water by the water above that point, a pressure exists at any point in the atmosphere due to the weight of the air above that point. I told you the Earth's atmosphere extends to hundreds of kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Then this pressure is known as atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure was measured for the first time by the Italian scientist Torricelli. Using this instrument, we know it as mercury barometer. This instrument used by Italian scientist Torricelli for the purpose of finding the atmospheric pressure. Here, he used to make this instrument using a glass tube about 1 meter long and a liquid with mercury. Mercury is the metal exists in room temperature as liquid. The glass tube is one closed end. With the one closed end, the tube is filled with mercury turned upside down while making sure that no air enters to the tube. And then immersed in a container of mercury as shown in the figure. When the tube is mounted in upright position as in the figure, it would be possible to see that the mercury column in the tube drops by several centimeters. The mercury column in the glass tube drops down by several centimeters, leaving an empty space above the mercury column. We make sure that no air can enter the space above the mercury column, so that the space must be a vacuum. Then, the height of the mercury column left inside the glass tube is about 76 centimeters. Torricelli understood that all the mercury in the tube does not flow down to the container because the atmospheric pressure keeps pushing on the mercury surface exposed to the outside. Then the atmospheric pressure keeps pushing on the surface of the mercury on the vessel. However, the atmospheric pressure is sufficient to balance the pressure of a mercury column with height of 76 cm. Therefore, the height of the mercury column is a measure of the atmospheric pressure. We learnt it in earlier, that any 2 points at the same level of a liquid have the same pressure. Accordingly, since the pressure on the mercury surface outside the tube is equal to the atmospheric pressure, a point inside the tube at the same level should also have the atmospheric pressure. By considering the height of the mercury column, the pressure at the point A inside the tube can be calculated using the formula liquid pressure equals H rho G. The height of the liquid column, density of the liquid, here mercury, and the gravitational acceleration. Therefore, the atmospheric pressure must be equal to H rho G at point A. Point A mean here in the figure, in the screen, you can see PA mean pressure due to mercury volume. PB is pressure due to atmosphere. Then the PA equals to PB. Why? Any point at the same level of a liquid have the same pressure. You can use the equation to find out the liquid pressure. You learnt it in earlier. P equals H rho G. You can substitute value for the point A. The height of the mercury column 76 centimeter, but you have to convert into meters by dividing 100 and multiply it by density of mercury as 13,600 kilograms per cubic meter, and the gravitational acceleration is 10 meters per square second. Then you can obtain the value for pressure exerted at point A due to mercury column. Because of the points in the same level of a liquid have same pressure, then you can equal that value to the pressure exerted at point B. That pressure gives by atmosphere. Then those points has the same pressure. Accordingly, you can obtain a value for the atmospheric pressure as you obtain in the value at point A. However, as a convenient unit for measuring pressure, the height of the mercury column is often used. If the experiment is done at the sea level, the height of the mercury column would be 76 centimeter. It does not change. If the tube is immersed further into the container with mercury, the height of the mercury column would remain at 76 centimeter. The space above the column would be reduced in height. the vertical height of the mercury column would remain at 76 centimeter, while the atmospheric pressure at the sea level is 76 centimeter mercury. Mercury centimeter 76. As we move up from the sea level, the height of the air column decreases, and the atmospheric pressure is also decreases. For example, here, which has the maximum pressure, X or Y? At point X, the height of the air column above that the point X is reduced when we comparing the point Y. At the point Y, the height of the air column increases when we compared it into X. I think it's clear to you. Then the maximum pressure at point Y. In the same way, another example is the atmospheric pressure at the top of the Everest. You know, the mountain, top of Everest mountain is about 25 mercury centimeter. Then it's clear to you, then the height increases, the pressure is decreases. The atmospheric pressure is decreases. In addition, the atmospheric pressure can change according to the weather. An Italian scientist Torricelli used this mercury barometer used by Italian scientist Torricelli to find out the atmospheric pressure. And the other type of instrument that can be used to measure atmospheric pressure is aneroid barometer. In mercury barometer, a liquid is used. That liquid is mercury. But in aneroid barometer, there is no any liquid. They do not contain a liquid. In the figure shows that in aneroid barometer, it has a cavity bounded by thin metallic walls in which air has been evacuated. When the pressure outside the barometer varies, the shape of the walls of the cavities also varies. An indicator attached to the cavity walls rotate with the variation of the shape of the walls. Then we can get reading directly for the atmospheric pressure. As in the applications of pressure due to solids and liquid, the atmospheric pressure used to ease our day-to-day activities. When we drink using a straw, we suck the air inside the straw, expanding our lungs, and that air enters the mouth, reducing the pressure inside the straw. The pressure at the liquid surface outside the straw is at the atmospheric pressure, while the pressure inside the straw is less than the atmospheric pressure. Then the higher pressure at atmospheric pressure. Therefore, the atmospheric pressure pushed the liquid in the glass into the tube, and the liquid moves up through the straw. Another application of atmospheric pressure in daily life is removing the water in a tank using the siphon method. This figure illustrates the use of siphon method to draw water from the tank at upper side or higher level to the tank at lower level. Initially, the tube has to be filled with the water and one end pressed with the finger so that water does not flow out, and then the tube should be lowered down to the tank at higher level. Thereafter, when the finger is removed, water starts to flow to the tank at the lower place from the tank at higher level. The pressure at the end of the tube is equal to the sum of the pressures due to the water column in the tank at higher level above the end of the tube and the atmospheric pressure. Since the end of the tube at the tank in the lower place is exposed to the atmosphere. The pressure there is equal to the atmospheric pressure. Therefore, the higher pressure in the tank at higher level push the water to the other end of the tube at the tank at lower level, which has the lower pressure. Due to the difference of this pressure, the water flows from upper tank to lower tank. This method is known as siphon method. Another use of atmospheric pressure is action of rubber sucker. When rubber sucker is pressed onto a glass surface as shown in the figure, most of air between the two surfaces is removed, leaving only a little amount of air in between the sucker and the surface. Then, since the pressure inside the rubber sucker is less than the atmospheric pressure outside, the sucker is held pressed to the surface by the atmospheric pressure. The rubber sucker would function properly only if there is no airflow between the surface of the sucker and the surface of the wall. Now we are moving to another side of hydrostatic pressure, or the application of hydrostatic pressure. We know that when we put some objects into water, some objects sit floating on the surface of the water, and some of them are completely immersed in water and floating. But some objects sink in water and place at the bottom of the water. But why? What's the reason for the behaviors of these objects? Let's investigate what scientific principle behind the reason for behavior in these objects as sinking, floating and submerged and floating. For example, when we press an object that floats on water, such as the red colored ball floating on the surface of the vessel of water, we experience a force exerted by the water acting upwards. While we press in an object that floats on water, even for an object that sinks in water, the weight that we feel when it is in water is less than its weight in air. This is because water exerts an upward force on the objects that are immersed in water. Not only water, any fluid exerts an upward force on objects that are immersed or on floating objects. That upward force exerted by any fluid is known as upthrust. Let's identify the behaviors of the motion of those objects. In yellow colored object, the upthrust or the upward force exerted by the water is less. Then the object sinks in the water. In green colored object, the square shaped object, the upthrust or the upward force exerted by the fluid is equal to the weight of the object. Then the object is fully immersed and floating. Then rubber ball, red colored ball, the upthrust exerted by the fluid or the water is larger than the weight of the object. then the object is floating. Let's engage an activity to identify about the upward force exerted on the object by liquid. We know it as upthrust. Now we are going to identify about the upthrust. I get a piece of metal and using spring balance we can obtain the value for the weight of the object. We can measure the weight of the object using spring balance or Newton balance. Then immerse the object in water as shown in the figure. I told you earlier, in liquid, the upward force exerted by liquid is known as upthrust. Here, the upthrust may exerted by the liquid in the vessel, the water in the vessel. When immersing the object in water, as shown in the figure, we can read the spring balance reading. We can get the reading of spring balance. Then you will observe that the spring balance reading has been decreased. According to the explanation given regarding the figure, the spring balance reading decreases when an upward force is acting on that object. Therefore, it's confirmed that the object immersed in a liquid or any kind of fluid experience an upward thrust exerted by the liquid. That is why the reading of the spring balance get reduced. When the object at liquid, the weight is known as apparent weight. The force exerted by liquid is known as upthrust. Then you can obtain equation or a combination as weight of the object or the real weight of the object or weight measured at air of any object is equal to the apparent weight plus upthrust. By adding apparent weight and upthrust, you can get the weight of the object. The most widely known about Greek scientist Archimedes of how he invented a method of determining the volume of an object using liquid. There was a famous story behind it. According to a crown had been made for king who had supplied the pure gold to be used, and Archimedes was asked to determine whether some silver had been substituted by the goldsmith. Archimedes had to solve the problem without damaging the crown. So, while taking a bath, he noticed that the level of the water in the tub rose up and overflowed. He got in and realized that the submerged crown would display an amount of water equal to its own volume. So excited by his discovery, he ran through the street without dressing, as saying Eureka, the meaning Eureka, Eureka. The meaning according to the Eureka is found it, found it. As saying found it, I found it, I found it. Then there is an law expressed by Archimedes as when an object is partially or completely submerged in a fluid, the upthrust acting on it is equal to the weight of the fluid displayed by the object. The Archimedes principle is when an object is partially or completely submerged in a fluid, the upthrust acting on it is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. That is Archimedes principle. There's a simple experiment to find out the upthrust equal to the weight of the displaced liquid as told by Archimedes. Here you can see there are two setups. In left side, a small weighted object dipped in water. Then you can observe the amount of water displayed by that object. In the second activity, in the second step, we dip a large weighted object in the vessel with water, blue colored water. In that step, the amount of water displayed by the liquid is more than the amount of water displaced by the liquid when dipped in small weighted object. Then the upthrust exerted by liquid to the both of the object is different. When the mass of the object or the weight of the object increase, the displaced amount of water is increased. The weight of the displaced amount of liquid is equal to upthrust, as taught by Archimedes. We did it in previous activity. The result obtained from these activities can be stated as the upthrust exerted by the fluid is less than the weight of the object is sink. When the upthrust is equal to the weight of the object is fully submerged and floating. When the upthrust is larger than or greater than the weight of the object is floating. Hydrometers are used to measure the density of liquids and solutions. It is made of glass. It has a cylindrical stem, glass stem, and a bulb as shown in the diagram. Mercury or lead shots are found inside the bulb to enable it to float vertically in the liquid to give weight to the hydrometer. The liquid or the solution is taken to a vessel and the hydrometer is put into it. Then the density of the liquid or the solution can be read directly by the scale given on the hydrometer. The hydrometer calibrated from top to bottom of the glass stem. It means higher values at the bottom of the glass stem and lower readings can be obtained at the upper place of the glass stem. Hydrometer has been made in accordance with the Archimedes principle. The hydrometer immersed in a liquid to height so as to displace a weight equal to the weight of the hydrometer. The volume of the liquid or the solution displaced is equal to the volume of the immersed part of the hydrometer. Now we are engaged in an activity, simple activity, to identify about the density of these two solutions. In the left side, there are salt solution, water, amount of salt dissolved in water, and the other side, there is a sample with coconut oil. When we put in or immersed, dip in hydrometer inside these two vessels, we can obtain the behavior of the hydrometer in these two solutions. We can make the hydrometer, simple hydrometer at home using drinking straw and amount of clay or drops of wax at the bottom of drinking straw in addition to lead shots. So it's give a mass or a weight to float hydrometer vertically in the liquid. You can see here. In the salt solution, when we dip hydrometer in salt solution, the hydrometer immerses less in that solution. But in coconut oil, the hydrometer immersed more. As a small volume of a liquid is displayed in a high density liquid, the hydrometer is immersed to only a small depth. But when it is put in a low density liquid, it immerses more because more liquid should displace to produce the upthrust required to balance it. Actually, the solution of the density of the salt solution is about 1050 kilograms per cubic meter. The density of salt solution is that. Then the coconut oil is about 850 kilograms per cubic meter. Then the low density has the coconut oil. In the coconut oil or the low density solution, the hydrometer immersed more. But in the solution with higher density, the hydrometer immerses less. I told you earlier, the hydrometer is calibrated from top to bottom. It means lower values, lower readings at higher place of the glass stem and higher readings at lower place of the glass stem or the bottom of the glass stem. Then when the hydrometer dip in low density liquid, the hydrometer immersed more. Then the reading you can get the top of the glass stem is low. When the hydrometer dips in higher density liquid, hydrometer is immersed less in that liquid. Then the reading can be obtained at the lower part of the bottom or the lower part of the hydrometer. Then the reading will be higher. This figure shows the difference of the density of a liquid and the way or the behavior how the hydrometer behaved in these two liquids. In this video, you learned about the pressure produced by liquid, gases and as well as by solid. And characteristics and applications of pressure, rules and laws related with the pressure, Archimedes theorem and its application. We will meet by another video soon. Subscribe our channel and get notified about new releases. Thank you.